Hi there. So there has always been this debate about the best misal in Maharashtra. But frankly speaking, for me it's not even a debate. Nashik has the best misal, hands down. But here's the catch. Not everyone agrees to this. I recently watched a Netflix show about misal, and all the misals they tasted were from
Mumbai, Pune, Kolhapur.
They did not mention Nashik even once. And that is what triggered me to make this video. Okay, so I won't waste any more of your time and will prove that Nashik has the best misal. And full disclaimer, I will be using a lot of oil in this recipe. All the health conscious people don't say that itna tel kyun dala. Come on, you don't have this daily. You can have this once a month or twice a month. It's fine. You have to live, right? Without wasting a lot of time, let's get started. Let's start with the basics first. Misal consists of a few different components. The sprouts, some places they even add sprouted chana, but we won't. Then comes the besan sev, then finely chopped onions and coriander, then the rasa, and finally the tari or the rogan, which in my opinion is the most vital. It gives a lot of spice and character to the misal. So, sprouts are simple. Wash and soak 100 grams of moat beans or matki in water for around 8 hours. Drain and keep them covered for another 6 to 8 hours until they sprout and are ready to use. For misal, put the sprouts in salted water about 500 ml with some turmeric and boil for about 15 minutes and keep it aside. Alright, so for the actual rasa, take a pan, add in some oil, let it heat. Once it is hot, add in 2 medium sliced onions. Fry them till they are toasted. And then add a handful of grated dry coconut. Toast for a few seconds. Remove from the flame and let it cool for a while. Then take a blender jar. To that, add in the toasted onion and coconut. 20 grams of garlic, 15 grams of ginger, and 20 grams of fresh coriander. Blend this all to a fine paste, adding water if necessary. Then take a kadai, to that add in about 100 ml of oil. Alright, I know it sounds a lot, but you need it for the tari. Once the oil heats up, add in the paste and cook until all the water is gone and it releases all the oil from the sides. Now to this throw in about 3 teaspoons of red chili powder and 2 to 3 teaspoons of kana masala or any store bought misal masala. It's your choice. The recipe for kana masala is in my previous video. Click the I button on the top to watch it. And I know it's a mutton recipe, so if you are a pure vegetarian, the first half is about the masala, so you don't have to watch the whole video, you can skip the mutton part. Okay? Anyway, after adding the masala, cook all of this for a few seconds and add 2 teaspoons of salt. And now add in the sprout water, stir in well, and add about 150 ml of warm water. Let this boil for a couple of minutes and that's it. When you let it sit, you can see the tari or the rogan forming on the top. The next step is to carefully remove the beautiful layer of oil from the rasa. There is a way you eat this in Nashik, so just follow the instructions, keep the rasa and tari aside, and let's move on to the next step. Coming up next is sev. Yes, you can get it from outside, but hey, I'm here to prove something, so let me do it my way, okay? If you want, you can get it from outside, your choice. But first, see this. In a bowl, add in about 150 grams of besan or chickpea flour, half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of hing, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of crushed ajwain. Mix this well, and to this add in about 25 ml of smoking hot oil. Mix with a spatula. Now adding about 20 ml of water at a time, form a loose dough. Don't add too much water or else you'll get a batter and not a dough. I used about 50 ml of water to form this loose dough. Now rest this for around 10 minutes. After that's done, wet your hands and shape some of the dough into a thin log. Now add this to the chakli maker with the medium hole attachment or the sev attachment. Now heat a kadhai with 300 ml of oil. Once it is medium hot, press the mold and directly pour the sev on the oil in a circular pattern. Fry for around 3 to 4 minutes on each side until it is nice and light brown. Remove on a cooling rack or a plate and just give yourself a pat on the back. Now we advance to the final act, making of the pav. I know, if you feel this is a little too extra, just get it from the local bakery, no issues. But I'm going one step further and making my own pav. Hopefully better than these. So we don't need this. In a bowl, add in about 430 grams of room temperature water, 7 grams of active dry yeast, and 2 teaspoons of sugar. Whisk this until dissolved. Add about 600 grams of maida or bread flour and 12 grams of fine salt. Combine everything together. Move over to a work surface and knead into a smooth dough for about 15 minutes. And remember, add about 15 grams of oil halfway. Now, this is a 70% hydration dough, so it might be a little sticky at the start, but it will eventually smooth out and won't stick as much. Here's a simple test to see if your dough has developed sufficient gluten or not. Just tear a small part and stretch. If you see a window like this, you are good to go. Otherwise, keep going on for a little more time. Once that is done, transfer your dough to a well-oiled bowl, cover and rest it for an hour or two or until doubled in size. After resting, transfer the dough to a work surface and divide into 15 equal portions. Or if you have a scale, which I highly recommend you should buy, by the way, divide it into 15 portions of 70 grams each. Roll and arrange 3 in a row on a 16-inch by 8-inch pan which is well oiled. And also don't forget to press the dough balls to get the desired shape. If you don't, you will end up with round buns and not the pavs that we are after. Cover and let this proof for around 2 to 3 hours. Once proofed, preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Once hot enough, bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes or until nice and brown on the top. Remember to brush them with oil halfway the bake and also after the bake. Cover with a cloth and rest for around 15 to 20 minutes. This will ensure that the pavs don't dry out and you will get the desired soft texture that the store-bought pavs have.
So there you go. All our components are ready. The pav is ready. Our fresh save is ready. The rasa is ready. And the famous tari is ready. Now I'm going to show you how to eat misal properly. The way we eat in Nasik.
I'm flying high like a bird, but my fluttering wings can keep.
Papad. You can also add some dahi if you want to. I personally don't like it, so I don't add it as much. And you can have a look at the pav. They are soft, very very soft, and they are so warm. The way you eat it is you have to dig in. Dig in, and you can see the nice tari that is floating on it. Enjoy it. I just love it, and you will also love it. The rasa is so flavorful, the crunchy save is just amazing. And I can't stress enough on the fact that the fresh pav and the fresh save that we've made has made such a big difference to this. Yeah, you can obviously get it from outside. You can get the pav easily and you can get the save easily, but the satisfaction of making everything from scratch, the result is completely different and you'll enjoy it even more. So what are you waiting for? Try it for yourself and you will be amazed by how such simple ingredients can become such a great dish. See you in the next episode.